The stars looked different from the observation deck of the Galactic Confederation ship Harmony *. Ambassador Zixtil of the Velnar species stood with his forearms clasped behind his back, his pale blue skin reflecting the light of the approaching solar system. Earth grew larger in the view screen with each passing moment. "Are you certain about this first contact protocol?" asked Science Officer Mirok. Her thin, insect-like form trembled slightly. "Our long-range observations suggest these humans are quite unpredictable." Zixtil's inner eyelids blinked in what his species considered a confident gesture. "The Council has studied them for 50 years. They are primitive in some ways, advanced in others. They fight among themselves, but always seem to find unity when facing external threats." "That is precisely my concern," Mirok chittered. "The data suggests they evolved on a death world. Their biology is terrifying." The ambassador dismissed her concerns with a wave of his lower right hand. "They are just another intelligence finding its way to the stars. We have welcomed 17 species already." On Earth, Dr. Elaine Murphy stared at the message that had appeared simultaneously on every electronic device on the planet 12 hours ago. The aliens, actual aliens, would land at a designated spot in neutral Switzerland at noon. "You look worried," said Captain Peter Donovan, adjusting his uniform. Though the Earth Space Defense Force was largely ceremonial, today it felt very real. "I'm a linguist, Pete. My entire career has been studying human languages. Now I need to communicate with beings who evolved on another world." Elaine tucked a strand of auburn hair behind her ear. "What if I mess this up?" "That's why we have a team. You handle the cultural side, I handle security, and the rest of the diplomatic corps handles the politics." He smiled. "Besides, they contacted us in perfect English, so they've done their homework." The Confederation landing craft settled gently on the field. Earth's combined military forces stood at a respectful distance, while the diplomatic team, led by Elaine and Peter, waited at the designated meeting point. The craft's door opened with a soft hiss. Ambassador Zixtil emerged, followed by representatives of 3 other alien species. Their forms were wildly different. One floated on what appeared to be a cushion of air. Another moved with a graceful 6-legged gait, and the third seemed to flow rather than walk. Elaine stepped forward, keeping her hands visible as instructed by the first contact protocol message. "On behalf of humanity, I welcome you to Earth." Zixtil performed a complex gesture with his 4 arms. "The Galactic Confederation extends greetings to your species. We come in peace and with hopes of mutual prosperity." The first hour of contact went smoothly as introductions were made. Then came the tour of the human facility prepared for the meeting. "Would you care for refreshments?" asked Elaine. "We've prepared water and some light food." The aliens agreed, and that's when things got strange. Peter casually poured himself a cup of coffee. Ambassador Zixtil watched in horror. "Captain, you are consuming a neurotoxin," the alien said, his voice translator unable to hide his alarm. Peter looked at his coffee cup. It's just caffeine. Helps me stay alert." The floating alien, introduced as Representative Glue, moved backward slightly. "Your species willingly consumes nerve agents for alertness. It's perfectly safe for humans," Elaine explained, puzzled by their reaction. Science Officer Mirok scanned the coffee with a handheld device. "This concentration would kill a Velnar in minutes and would cause cardiac arrest in 12 of our member species." Peter put his cup down slowly. "I'm sorry if we've caused offense." "No offense," Ambassador Zixtil said carefully. "Merely surprise. Perhaps we should continue our discussion of potential Earth membership in the Confederation." As the meeting progressed, the aliens noted with increasing concern how the humans stood in direct sunlight without protection, handled metals that would be toxic to most Confederation species, and described recreational activities that would be considered extreme survival situations on most civilized worlds. Later, aboard the Harmony *, Ambassador Zixtil recorded his private log. The humans do not appear to realize how unusual they are. They have evolved on a planet that would be lethal to most sentient life. They may be the most inherently dangerous species we have ever encountered, and they don't even know it. The most troubling part, they seem genuinely peaceful and kind. Council must be informed immediately. 6 months after first contact, the human delegation arrived at the Galactic Confederation headquarters on the space station Harmonia. The giant wheel-shaped station orbited a neutral star at the center of Confederation space. Dr. Elaine Murphy gazed out the viewport as their shuttle approached. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Beside her, Engineer Marcus Rodriguez nodded. "The structure is amazing. I can't wait to learn how they built it." The 5-person human team also included Captain Peter Donovan, biologist Dr. Lisa Tanner, and diplomat William Crawford. They had spent months preparing for this cultural exchange, but nothing could truly prepare them for life among aliens. Their shuttle docked with a gentle bump. When the airlock opened, they were greeted by Ambassador Zixtil. "Welcome to Harmonia," the blue-skinned alien said. "We have adjusted the environmental controls in your quarters to Earth standards." "Thank you, Ambassador," William replied with a diplomatic smile. "We look forward to learning more about the Confederation." As they walked through the station, the humans noticed the aliens giving them a wide berth, some even more protective gear. "Is there a problem?" Peter asked Zixtil quietly. The ambassador's inner eyelids blinked rapidly. "Many species find humans concerning. Your biology is quite different from ours." "Different how?" Lisa asked, her scientific curiosity piqued. "You evolved on what we classify as a death world," Zixtil explained. "Your bone density, muscle strength, and resilience to environmental factors exceed most Confederation standards by significant margins." The humans exchanged confused glances. Earth seemed perfectly normal to them. That evening, the Confederation Council hosted a welcome dinner. The Grand Hall featured 17 different environmental zones to accommodate all member species. Marcus sat next to a jellyfish-like alien named Blorb, who represented the aquatic Cuvian species. Their conversation about engineering principles was going well until Marcus absent-mindedly reached for a small red pepper from his plate and popped it into his mouth. Blorb's translucent body pulsed with alarm lights. "You just consumed a Grixian firepod." Other aliens turned to stare as Marcus chewed. It's just a pepper. A bit spicy, but good." The room erupted in chaos. 2 species retreated behind environmental shields. One small reptilian alien fainted. Ambassador Zixtil rushed over. "That plant contains capsaicin. It's considered a level 3 biological weapon on 15 Confederation worlds." Marcus swallowed awkwardly. On Earth we put it on food for flavor." Across the room, Lisa was having her own cultural misunderstanding. She was explaining human medicine to a group of fascinated alien scientists. "So if we break a small bone, it will heal on its own in about 6 weeks, she said casually. "Without medical intervention?" asked a tall, spindly alien with reflective skin. "For minor fractures, yes. Our bones naturally knit back together." The alien scientists frantically took notes, whispering among themselves words like self-regeneration and autonomous repair. Meanwhile, William found himself surrounded by political representatives asking about human warfare. "We hope to leave our violent past behind us," William explained diplomatically. "But your historical records indicate humans can continue fighting despite significant injury," said a gas cloud alien contained in a floating sphere. "Your soldiers have survived conditions that would kill most sentient beings instantly." William shrugged. "Humans can be stubborn." At the end of the evening, Captain Peter overheard 2 alien security officers talking quietly. "They don't even wear protective gear in standard atmosphere," one chittered. "And they consume toxins for pleasure," the other replied. "The Council must establish special protocols if they ever became hostile." The officer stopped speaking when he noticed Peter listening. Peter smiled politely and walked away, but his mind was racing. The aliens weren't just curious about humans. They were afraid. Later that night, the human delegation gathered in their quarters to share their experiences. "They think we're dangerous," Elaine said, summarizing what they'd all noticed. "But we haven't done anything threatening," Lisa objected. Peter looked thoughtful. "We don't have to. Just by being human, we frighten them." "So what do we do?" Marcus asked. William straightened his jacket. "We continue as planned. Show them that despite our biological differences, humans are peaceful partners." He smiled slightly. "And maybe we stop eating spicy food in public." 1 year after first contact, humans joined a mining operation on the moon of gas giant Kelphus 7. The moon was rich in rare minerals needed for advanced starship engines. Mining engineer Samantha Wright wiped sweat from her forehead as she checked the support beams in tunnel section K12. The gravity was only 60% of Earth's, but the work was still hard. "How's it looking, Sam?" asked technician Jason Miller over the comlink. "These supports need reinforcement," Samantha replied. "The rock here is unstable." Safety officer Daniel Klein joined them in the tunnel, along with 6 alien workers from various species. Daniel nodded respectfully to Grix, a stone-like being from the Petrum species who was the alien crew leader. "My sensors detect increasing pressure in the surrounding rock," Grix rumbled, his gravelly voice coming through the translator. Daniel checked his own equipment. "I agree. We should evacuate this section until—" A loud crack interrupted him. The tunnel shook violently. "Cave in," Samantha shouted. "Everyone back to junction point." The group ran, but not fast enough. With a deafening roar, the ceiling collapsed. Rocks and dust filled the air. When the dust settled, Daniel realized they were trapped. A massive pile of rubble blocked the way back to the main tunnel. The other direction led to a dead end. "Status report," Daniel called out, coughing from the dust. One by one, they checked in. All 9 miners were alive, though 2 of the aliens were injured. Grix's crystalline face showed no expression, but his voice trembled. "The main communication system is damaged. We are cut off." "How long until someone notices we're missing?" Samantha asked. "End of shift change in 30 hours, Jason replied grimly. The aliens' reaction was immediate panic. Lure, a thin purple being with 4 eyes, began to shake uncontrollably. "We cannot survive that long." Lure wailed. "The air will run out. We will die here." Daniel raised his hands. "Everyone calm down. We need to think clearly." The humans quickly organized their resources. They had emergency air filters, some water, and basic tools. It wasn't much, but it might be enough. "First, we need to stabilize the injured," Daniel said. He knelt beside Ziv, a small yellow alien with a crushed lower limb. "Do not touch me." Ziv squeaked in fear. "Human handling will cause more damage." Samantha knelt down. "Daniel has medical training. We want to help." The alien reluctantly allowed Daniel to examine the injury. Daniel gently splinted the limb using pieces of his own equipment. "The bone is broken," Daniel explained. "This will keep it stable until we get proper medical help." The aliens watched in amazement as Daniel worked. On their worlds, such an injury would mean death without immediate medical attention. Meanwhile, Jason and Samantha studied the rockfall. "We might be able to move some of these smaller boulders," Jason suggested. "Create an air passage at least." "Impossible," said Grix. "Even my species cannot lift those rocks." Samantha smiled. "Watch and learn." The humans worked together, leveraging their strength against the rocks. They moved several smaller boulders, creating a small passage that improved airflow. "How are you doing this?" asked Lure in astonishment. "Those rocks are too heavy. Humans evolved in high gravity," Jason explained between grunts of effort. "We're stronger than we look." As hours passed, the humans continued to surprise their alien companions. They rationed air and water with careful precision. They created tools from broken equipment, When the temperature dropped dangerously low, they shared body heat with the cold, sensitive aliens. "Why are you not afraid?" Grix finally asked Daniel. "Death is coming for us all." Daniel shrugged. "Maybe. But humans don't give up easily." 27 hours into their ordeal, they heard faint sounds of rescue equipment. Samantha had managed to rig a makeshift transmitter from their damaged communications equipment, sending out a weak distress signal. As the rescue team broke through, the alien miners told an astonishing story, not of fear and waiting for death, but of human ingenuity and stubborn refusal to accept defeat. That night, in his private quarters, Grix sent a message to his government. "Humans are more dangerous than we thought, not because they tried to harm us, but because they simply refused to die." The colony of New Horizon was the first joint human-alien settlement. Located on a planet with Earth-like conditions, it housed 2,000 humans and 3,000 aliens from various Confederation species. For 6 months, it had been a symbol of successful cooperation. Now it was a disaster zone. Dr. Lisa Tanner worked in the colony's medical center, studying blood samples under a microscope. She hadn't slept in 36 hours, but she couldn't stop. Too many lives depended on finding an answer. "Any progress?" asked Captain Peter Donovan, entering the lab. His face showed the same exhaustion Lisa felt. "Maybe," she said, not looking up. "The pathogen affects all species, but not in the same way." Around them, the medical center was filled with the sick and dying. The disease had appeared suddenly 3 weeks ago. It attacked the respiratory systems of most species, but was especially deadly to the Kest and Elrani aliens. "The quarantine is holding," Peter reported, "but we're running out of medical supplies." Lisa finally looked up from her microscope. "Peter, I need to test something. Can you give me a blood sample?" He rolled up his sleeve. "Of course. Why?" She drew his blood quickly and added it to a culture dish. "I've been testing my own blood against the pathogen. I think humans might be carriers." Peter's eyebrows rose. "You mean we're spreading it?" "Not exactly." She showed him 2 samples. "Look at these. The left is Kest blood exposed to the pathogen. It's being destroyed. The right is human blood. See how our white blood cells attack the pathogen. We fight it off without symptoms." "So we're immune?" Peter asked. "Not immune. We're asymptomatic carriers. Our bodies fight the infection so effectively that we don't get sick, but we can still spread it." Lisa's face was grim. "That's why it's hitting the alien population harder. We've been walking around infected without knowing it." The news spread quickly through the Confederation. On many worlds, fear turned to anger. If humans could carry deadly diseases without showing symptoms, were they safe to be around? A political faction called the Purity Front gained popularity. Their message was simple: humans should be quarantined for the safety of all. On the Confederation Council, Ambassador Zixtil faced harsh questions. "Humans are a biological threat," declared Councillor Drev of the Elrani. 70 of my people died on New Horizon." Zixtil remained calm. "The humans are working tirelessly to find a cure. Their scientists have made more progress in 3 weeks than our medical teams made in 3 months. Because they carried the disease naturally," Drev shouted. "They are walking bioweapons." Back on New Horizon, Lisa had a breakthrough. "We can use human antibodies to create a vaccine," she explained to the colony's leadership. "Our bodies know how to fight this." "How quickly can you produce it?" asked the colony governor. "We've already started, but distribution will be difficult. We need to reach isolated settlements across the planet." Captain Peter stood up. "I'll organize transport teams. We'll need volunteers." Within hours, humans lined up to donate blood for the vaccine. Once production began, Peter coordinated relief missions. Human teams worked around the clock, needing little sleep compared to their alien counterparts. After 5 days without rest, Peter was still coordinating from the command center when Ambassador Zixtil called from the Confederation headquarters. "Captain, The Purity Front is gaining influence, the ambassador warned. They're using the epidemic to push anti-human policies. Peter looked around at the humans working tirelessly to save alien lives. Send them our medical data. Show them that the same biology that makes us carriers also makes us the cure. Will that be enough? Zixtil asked. It has to be, Peter replied, because we're not going to stop helping just because some people are afraid of us. As the vaccine reached more communities, the death rate dropped dramatically. The humans of New Horizon worked without complaint, many going days without sleep to ensure every settlement received help. In his report to the Confederation Council, the New Horizon governor wrote, "The humans' greatest danger is not their strength or resilience, but their compassion. When they decide to help you, nothing will stop them. Not exhaustion, not risk, not even your own fear of them." The Confederation faced a new crisis. Space pirates from the Unaline Draxian species attacked trade routes, stealing valuable cargo and leaving destruction behind. The Confederation military struggled to stop them because the pirates used advanced stealth technology. After 3 major shipping lanes were cut off, the Confederation Council called an emergency meeting. "Our ships cannot track the Draxian vessels," reported Admiral Kroon, the head of Confederation Defense Forces. His scaled skin shimmered with stress colors. "They attack without warning and vanish before we can respond." "What about the human fleet?" suggested Ambassador Zixtil. "They have different sensor technologies." Some council members objected immediately. "We cannot allow armed human ships into our core territories," said Councillor Drev. The Purity Front now controlled 30% of council seats. But with trade disrupted and supplies running short on 5 worlds, the council had little choice. They requested Earth's help. Captain Peter Donovan received command of a small fleet, including his ship, the Endeavor *. His orders were simple: find and stop the pirates. 2 weeks later, the Endeavor * patrolled the Sarchis sector where 3 attacks had occurred. Samantha Wright, now a security specialist after her mining experience, stood at the tactical station on the bridge. "Captain, I'm detecting unusual energy readings," she reported. "Very faint, but they don't match known Confederation patterns." Peter leaned forward. "Could be our pirates. What's the source?" "Asteroid field, bearing 047. Range, 3 million kilometers. Set course, yellow alert." As they approached the asteroid field, sensors detected a large ship hiding among the rocks. The pirate vessel spotted them and fled at high speed. "Pursuit course," Peter ordered. The chase led them through a dangerous radiation belt. On most Confederation ships, such radiation levels would force an evacuation of affected decks. But human bodies could tolerate short exposures without immediate harm. "They're trying to lose us in the radiation," Peter realized. "Maintain pursuit." When the pirates saw they couldn't shake the human ship, they turned to fight. The battle was fierce. The pirate vessel had stronger weapons, but the Endeavor * had a more maneuverable design. During the battle, a pirate missile struck the Endeavor *, causing a hull breach on Deck 7. Emergency force fields contained the atmosphere loss, but 3 crew members were injured. The pirates thought this would force the humans to retreat. Instead, Peter ordered a daring maneuver that brought them alongside the pirate ship. "Prepare boarding teams," he commanded. Samantha led a team of 10 security officers equipped with magnetic boots and combat suits. They crossed the vacuum between ships and cut through the pirates' airlock. Inside, they faced 30 Draxian pirates. The Draxians were tall, muscular beings with natural armor plates and sharp claws. They thought themselves physically superior to most species in the galaxy. They weren't prepared for humans. In the tight corridors of the ship, the battle was brief but intense. The Draxians were stronger than humans, but slower. And they weren't used to enemies who kept fighting despite injuries. When one pirate slashed Samantha's arm with his claws, he expected her to fall. Instead, she ignored the wound and kept fighting. Another human took a blow that would have killed most species, yet managed to stun 3 pirates before applying emergency medical spray to his own injury. Within 15 minutes, the humans had secured the pirate vessel. Recording of the boarding action was transmitted back to Confederation headquarters. The military council watched in stunned silence as humans fought in conditions that would incapacitate most species. "Their pain tolerance is extraordinary," whispered one council member. "They continue fighting with injuries that would be fatal to us. And they expose themselves to vacuum with only minimal protection," said another. No wonder the Draxians were overwhelmed. Admiral Kroon watched the footage for a third time. The human security chief, this Samantha Wright, she was injured early in the fight. Look at her continuing as if nothing happened. "We must reconsider our defense strategies," said a senior military planner. "If humans ever became hostile." "They won't," Admiral Kroon interrupted. "But we should be grateful they're on our side." After the pirate incident, 5 other pirate bases were discovered and neutralized by human-led teams. Trade routes reopened, and the Confederation economies recovered. But in secret, some military leaders began developing weapons designed specifically to counter human physiology. Just in case. 3 years after first contact, humanity had integrated deeply into the Confederation. Humans now worked on dozens of alien worlds and space stations. Their unique abilities and perspectives changed many aspects of Confederation society. Engineer Marcus Rodriguez led a team redesigning Confederation ships. His human approach to safety systems shocked alien engineers. "You build 3 backup systems for every critical function?" asked Gilles, a senior Velnar engineer. "That seems excessive." Marcus shrugged. "On Earth, we have a saying, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. We plan for the worst." His philosophy spread throughout Confederation engineering. Ships became more durable, mining operations safer, and colony systems more reliable. Meanwhile, Dr. Elaine Murphy established the Interspecies Cultural Exchange Program. Her understanding of communication helped bridge gaps between different species. "Humans develop thousands of languages on one planet," she explained during a lecture. "This gave us unique insights into how different minds can perceive the same reality." But not everyone welcomed human influence. The Purity Front now held 30% of seats on the Confederation Council. Their leader, Councillor Drev, spoke openly against human expansion. "Humans change everything they touch," Drev declared in a public address. "Their biology, their thinking, their very presence disrupts our peaceful society." On the Confederation Capital Station, diplomat William Crawford worked late in his office. A security alert flashed on his screen. It was the 3rd unusual data breach this month. William frowned. His background in Earth intelligence gave him a sense for when something wasn't right. He began his own investigation, tracing data patterns that Confederation security had missed. After 2 days of careful work, he discovered encrypted communications between several species' military leaders. The messages contained disturbing phrases like human containment and biological restrictions. When William reported his findings to Captain Peter Donovan, Peter was not surprised. "I've noticed it too," Peter said. "The Velnar fleet has been conducting unusual exercises near human shipping lanes." "They're afraid of us," William realized. "They're planning to restrict human activities under the guise of safety protocols." Peter nodded grimly. 4 species at least, Velnar, Elreni, Kuvian, and Zoltar, have been developing weapons designed to target human physiology. "What do we do?" William asked. "Confront them." "No," Peter said after a moment. "We do what humans do best. We adapt." A week later, a delegation of Velnar military officials visited the human embassy. Admiral Thos, their leader, requested a private meeting with Peter, Captain Donovan. The admiral began formally. "The Velnar Dominion wishes to discuss a separate security agreement with Earth." Peter kept his face neutral. Unsurprised. The Confederation Treaty covers mutual defense. Some feel that humans would benefit from special arrangements, Thos said carefully. Your species has unique security needs. You mean restrictions, Peter replied. Let me save us both time, Admiral. We know about the containment plans. The Velner's blue skin paled to almost white. That's impossible. Those discussions were encrypted with our highest protocols. Peter smiled slightly. Another human trait you've overlooked. We're naturally suspicious and very good at finding things others want to hide. Thawes stood abruptly. This is a serious breach of Confederation security. No, William said, entering the room. This is diplomacy. William placed a datapad on the table. It contained evidence of the conspiracy, along with a proposal from Earth. We could have revealed this to the full council, William explained. Instead, we're offering a partnership. Real cooperation, not containment. The Admiral looked stunned. You knew for how long? 6 months, Peter answered. We've known since before you finalized your plans. Thawes sat down heavily. If you could detect our security measures so easily, then imagine what we could accomplish working together openly, William finished. The meeting lasted 5 more hours. By the end, the foundations for a new approach to human-alien relations were laid. Later, news spread through the Confederation. Humans had uncovered a secret plot against them, but chose diplomacy over confrontation. The revelation that humans had detected the conspiracy despite careful planning sent shockwaves through the Confederation leadership. Ambassador Zixtil summed it up in a private message to the Council. Perhaps the most dangerous thing about humans is not their strength or resilience, but their ability to know your plans better than you do, and still offer you their hand in friendship. The long-range sensors of Outpost Station 47 detected them first. Strange ships at the edge of Confederation space, moving in perfect formation. They ignored all communication attempts. When a Confederation patrol approached, the alien vessels destroyed it instantly. The Void Collective had arrived. They came from beyond the galaxy's edge, a species unlike any the Confederation had encountered. They communicated only through force, destroying everything in their path. Their ships were living machines that absorbed energy from attacks and grew stronger. In the first month, they conquered 7 Confederation worlds. The Confederation Council met in emergency session. Fear filled the room as Admiral Kroon displayed the battle reports. Our weapons barely damaged their ships, he reported grimly. They adapt to our tactics after a single encounter. What about the humans? Asked Ambassador Zixtil. The room fell silent. Since the conspiracy incident a year ago, humans had become trusted but still feared allies. Earth now had 5 colony worlds and a growing fleet. We need them, Admiral Kroon admitted. On the Endeavour Captain Peter Donovan received the distress call. He immediately contacted other human ships in the sector. This isn't just a Confederation problem, he told his officers. If the Void Collective reaches Earth space, we're next. The human fleet, though small, responded quickly. Peter developed battle plans based on what they knew of the enemy. They adapt to patterns, he explained during the briefing with Confederation commanders, so we won't give them patterns. Each human ship will use different tactics. Admiral Kroon looked doubtful. Unpredictability is not a Confederation strength. Then follow our lead, Peter said simply. The combined fleet engaged the Void Collective near the Tarsus system. The battle was fierce. As expected, the enemy quickly adapted to Confederation tactics. But the humans kept changing their approach. When energy weapons proved ineffective, Samantha Wright suggested using mining explosives as improvised weapons. When standard shields failed, Marcus Rodriguez reconfigured them to pulse at random frequencies. The Endeavour took heavy damage but destroyed 2 enemy vessels before being forced to retreat. They're still winning, Peter admitted in a secure call with Earth Command. But we've slowed them down. Then came devastating news. The Void Collective fleet had bypassed their defenses and was heading directly for Earth. The battle for Earth united the planet like nothing before. Nations that had once been enemies shared resources and troops. Every available ship was pressed into service. The Confederation Council watched in amazement as humans prepared to defend their homeworld. Most species would evacuate their leadership and cultural treasures when faced with such a threat. Instead, human leaders stayed to coordinate the defense. When the Void Collective arrived, they found not just military resistance, but a planet unwilling to surrender. Civilian ships acted as decoys. Retired vessels became kamikaze weapons. When communications were jammed, humans used old radio technology the enemy couldn't block. In space, the Endeavour led a desperate mission into the heart of the enemy fleet. Their goal: to reach the command ship and disable it. Marcus had discovered that all void vessels linked to a central control system. The human ship took terrible damage pushing through enemy lines. Half the crew died. Systems failed across the ship, but they reached their target. "We have one shot at this," Peter told his remaining crew. His face was burned, his arm in a makeshift sling. Marcus had repurposed alien technology in ways its creators never imagined. The resulting weapon overloaded the enemy command ship's neural network, sending a cascade failure through the entire fleet. As the Void Collective ships went dark around Earth, cheers erupted across the planet and throughout the Confederation. In the aftermath, the Confederation Council formally recognized humans as the most valuable defensive asset in the galaxy. Not because they sought war, but because their evolution on Earth had created a species that refused to accept defeat. Ambassador Still, now the Confederation's High Chancellor, updated the official species database himself. Humans, classification, Deathworlder. Note: approach with caution. Most dangerous when they're just being themselves.